She likes cloth. That's a good band name.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Underrated Podcast. This is the podcast where we discuss the films that we feel are underrated or perhaps underappreciated or even ones that have just slipped under the radar and passed people by. My name is Ariel and I'm joined by my brother Sergio and our friends Alan, Fred, and Derek.
Yo, what up?
Hey
What's
guys.
up?
Today we're going to be talking about Bandslam, a 2009 film about a group of teenagers in the midst of competing for a local band competition for the chance to win a record deal. This film received mild reviews with a 6.3 on IMDb, but it received a certified fresh of 81 on Rotten Tomatoes. With about 20 million budget, this movie unfortunately did not do too well in the box office with an earning of only 12 million, to which I regrettably did not contribute to, and I'll talk about that later and why I believe the reason behind that is true for many others. It includes some early career performances from actors who would later go on to Broadway and music fame, in the cases of Vanessa Hudgens and Aly Michalka, respectively, as well as Friends. It also has Friends alumni Lisa Kudrow in the movie. This movie is filled with both humorous and heartfelt moments and it's grounded, realistic, with relatable characters. Besides all of this, this movie has one of the best soundtracks, in my opinion, of a movie, and it's at least still on my high school iPod. That not only include that soundtrack not only includes original songs and fantastic indie rock songs, but as well as some classics from Cheap Trick, Femme Fatales, and the one late great David Bowie, in which this was his final movie film appearance in a way. For me, this belongs in the vein of 80s John Hughes movies, coming of age saga, and for me, it deserves the recognition as such. So, with that, let's get started. So, guys, what did you think about it? Fred, let's get started with you.
It was cool. It was a chill movie. I mean, it is a movie of its time. You can kind of tell that. The music's cool. David Bowie's cool.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it's a younger person's movie. I'll tell you that. You know, because of the kind of drama that they kind of go through. About one guy liking one girl and the other girl, and then someone using. So I mean, it's obviously they're in high school, so it's high school things. But other than that, I mean, it's a decent movie. It's a good movie. What do you think, Alan?
Oof. I was not a fan. I really didn't like it. I guess, like you said, it's too young of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it showed my age because I was like, I'm gonna be honest. The first couple minutes, I was like, "Oh God, no!" I kind of cringed a lot, and it's pretty predictable for what it is. Like, again, it's a younger crowd's movie. Like, it's a totally teen movie. I don't know. There was just a lot of things where I was like, "Okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." The David Bowie stuff, like when he showed up, I was like, "All right, that's cool," but it was definitely a movie that was hard for me to watch. I was struggling with it.
Like, hey, Alan, did he give you that Stan vibe where he's writing an M the whole time?
I was writing M.
Yeah, you remember the song from Eminem? I don't mean to interrupt or you change stuff.
Stan,
remember?
You mean?
Yeah,
Stan.
That's what I said. Stan when he's writing that M.
Oh,
He's like, "Yo, hey, I miss you, dog. Where you at?" And then I kept thinking that.
yeah, he's like Stan for David Bowie.
Yeah, and then at the end when David Bowie's like, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, "Wow, how things could have been different."
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Now that you said that, yeah. I'm so used to hearing that stand now, like on Twitter. They're like, "We stand this, we stand this." You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, it comes from the song, which I was like, damn, that kind of ruins the song. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it is a young person's movie. I guess for me, I just was not a fan. I don't want to like bash it. Yeah, too much. But yeah, it just wasn't for me, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, what about you guys?
I guess I'll go. I probably fall somewhere in the middle. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. I thought it was fine. It was a decent movie that I enjoyed watching when I was stuck inside my house, isolated. I remember I thought this movie was a like Disney Channel original movie
Oh
when
my
I
God, yeah.
first saw like the posters for it and stuff. Because the poster
Same.
is so basic. It's just the three of them, and it just says like bands. I thought it was like a Camp Rock or like one of those.
Right. That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, and especially since like the stars are like Disney Channel people. Like it's got like Vanessa Hudgens from High School Musical, and then the girl from Phil of the Future. I was like, oh, this is like a Disney Channel original movie.
Oh, that's where she was from. I knew where she was.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew I've seen her before.
Yeah, later on she was in iZombie too with our boy Rahul.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
I should check that out because I really like Rob Thomas, the showrunner, not the
but
not my top 20? Oh.
Wait.
What about for the longest time? I thought they were the same person.
Yeah,
put that one out
They
there.
make a joke out of that in the Veronica Mars movie, but like I thought it was fine. Like it did, and it even felt like as I was watching it, like oh, this is like a Disney Channel movie. Like even though once I started watching and I knew it wasn't, it did kind of have that vibe. I liked it. It was fine. Don't get me wrong. Like it was enjoyable. Like it was kind of like Alan said though, like a predictable plot, and you're just kind of like okay, you know where it's going. You kind of like okay, yeah. Like it's just kind of like a nice little interesting ride, and it's one of those movies I feel like I have a lot less to say about it than a movie that I would either really really like or a movie that I really hated. There's not just I feel like it's just like yeah, that was good, and I can kind of watch it and kind of move on, I guess.
So going on to Junior, he actually watched this about the same age that I originally watched this. So
really?
let's get your opinion on that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as the young
buck.
I guess sure it tries to be relatable, but it's very of its time. It feels like the way it's
MySpace
is just so. It gets you. It hits you over the head with the tone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it was kind of hard to get into afterwards, but I guess what really it's fun to watch, and once you just let go of it, it becomes fun, and it's fun to laugh at too. So just obviously it's kind of like the parts where it doesn't take itself too seriously are okay. Parts where it kind of gets super dramatic are kind of are really hard they're hard to keep up with or just take seriously as the movie's taking them, because the tone is just there like a Disney Channel original movie. So I don't know. I think if there was one thing to set this movie really really apart from other movies of this nature is the music.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the DUI.
So,
The DWI.
The DUI.
It was DWI because Dewey.
Oh yeah, Dewey.
Like, yeah. So going off on that, I that goes into why I think originally and now possibly today, like it could kind of get a bad rap, is because it does feel like a Disney Channel movie. Originally, that was my fault, on my opinion, is it came out right after Phil the Future and High School Musical was over, and so I kind of had made an assumption that like these are High School Musical or Disney Channel stars and stuff, and I get the sense that I get that it kind of does feel like a Disney Channel movie in a way, but for me it feels a little bit more deeper than that. I don't know if it was just because of like when I did watch it, like I said, I was like 18, 17 going on 18 when I originally watched this, and so I kind of like had those, it made the movie more relatable, and rewatching it now, it just I guess like maybe a little bit of nostalgia factor came back in, and to me the music is amazing. I still listen to music like that, and like follow love the singing of and the vocals on even the covers that were done by Aly Michalka and Vanessa Hudgens. Like the original song that they play, the what is it?
Some Phil's song.
On?
Oh.
Yeah, Phil's song. It's just like
Twice.
well, kind of like 1.5. But one good and one like okay version of it. But for me, it's just I guess it's a movie that yeah, it is of its time, but it's of a time that people could relate to and live through. And the characters were to me very realistic. Like Sergio was saying, they weren't taking themselves too seriously. Like even with like explaining why Vanessa Hudgens talked the way she did, and kind of it might at first been seen like typical monotone, kind of like in the Breakfast Club, kind of like how the weird quote unquote weird girl was, but they kind of like
Basket Case.
Yeah, Basket Case. But they explained it in a way of like that she used to stutter, so now she enunciates and makes point to enunciate, and then the one of the then going in one of the times where she doesn't talk like that and like doesn't care how she sounds is when they go to CBGB and kind of like have a moment together, and she kind of like forgets to like focus on her speech in that way. So in the end, for me, it's deserving of at least giving it a watch. You might connect to it like I have, and or you might not. At least you'll get a really good soundtrack out of it. So that's my point.
Right, but well, when it comes to something like that, where Vanessa Hudgens' character and the main character, I don't know, it just. And then the popular cheerleader who kind of has a personality change. Some of that stuff you do see before in other things of this nature.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it hasn't done before. I think but I mean, if you go back to like John Hughes movies, he does sometimes like fall into that. To me, it's like a modern day John Hughes movie, and I
you know what I think is I think throws people off a little bit. It is so when you see some of these like let's say like High School Musical or maybe some of these type of young adolescent love kind of movie, you like feeling things, right? Mm-hmm. You normally will see somebody go through a certain change, and then you'll have the two characters kind of like fall in love with each other, and you kind of follow their story along. But here, your main character, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like he had two love interests at the same time, even though one of them wasn't. One of them was going to be his friend, and Vanessa Hudgens was the love interest, right? But you felt like at either moment he was going to flip flop one or the other, because then one gives him a kiss. I mean, and it's not like obviously nitpicking, but I'm just saying I think if it would have followed maybe a little bit more of a linear fashion in that sense, it probably would have. Because then you get the part where the dad dies, and you feel like, oh well, this is where, this is so impactful and so powerful that he's gonna, the tides turn kind of thing. But it doesn't, and then I'm just kind of like, all right, I don't know. It made me feel some type of way, I guess.
And I also kind of really don't buy Vanessa Hudgens is like, oh, look at her, she's just this loose. I'm like,
oh my god, yeah. That was really hard for me.
Like, Vanessa Hudgens isn't as cool as this other girl. Like, okay.
Well, I don't think they ever said that she was a loser or like. That was the thing about the movie. Like, it like clearly like the only like popular people were Glory Dogs, the band, and then like Aly Michalka's character like last year was popular, but then outside of that, like everyone else, I didn't get the sense of like losers or people like I got the sense of like everybody else was just other, and I think for me and I guess that's another reason why I connected to it, because for me in my high school, lifetime, I wasn't popular, but I wasn't a quote unquote loser. I was just like an other, and like and then I found this out like on the last week of school. Like I was known, people knew me, but they didn't really like approach me and like become friends with me, and they didn't like do anything. I was just like there kind of thing. So I guess that was another reason why I connected with the movie, and like to an extent like Vanessa Hudgens' character is because she was just like an other, like I was. So maybe that might have been why. I'm getting very deep on this podcast.
And that's why you
well, but that's why you recommend it.
That's why it's my favorite. Yeah, that's why I recommended
and
it.
it's a very personal movie to you.
What's the main character's name?
Which one?
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott.
Yeah.
It's,
don't besmirch him like that.
Look,
no,
I'll tell you this:
don't besmirch my man. Scott
out of all the music genres and everything that he talks and the way he spits his game as like music knowledge, and they run to ska as the main thing.
Hey. Scott is
Scott's good. Scott's good. No, hang on.
Okay.
Scott's good. I'm not saying anything, but like the
we
way
went to a Scott concert together.
No,
he's not.
No, that was you and I and Derek.
Yeah. No. What I'm trying to say, no, Scott's good. No, but what I'm trying to say is the way that he makes it like, how can I put it? Like, it's ska because it's ska, but the way he's like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna add this and it's gonna be something new. And I'm like, dog, you're making ska music. Like, why don't you just say like, this is what I think is going to make it
socially awkward.
Did he say it was? He just.
Well, no, because
like,
the way he makes it. I mean.
He's like, oh no, because we need trumpets and we need this, and it needs to be like. I'm like, wait, bro.
Yeah.
I go, we're about to do a ska right now, and I go, and I'm down.
Sound.
I go, I'm down, but like, just say what it is. I go, we should make ska music,
Well, yeah.
But the way he made it seem like, I'm about to invent something so miraculous that it's going to make us win. I was like, slow your roll, bro. This has been done before.
That was also the people around him. That's another thing too that I was trying to get at earlier. It feels very self-insertive, where the people around him that just kind of love him despite his flaws, and the people that don't like him are the villains.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of characters that are like that try to be the relatable character.
Fucking Holden McNeil over there.
Talking about Rex Racer, right? It was killing me. I couldn't figure out who it was, but the douchey ex-boyfriend is from Speed Racer. He's young Rex Racer before he becomes Matthew Fox.
Man.
He's singing a couple of other movies and shows. Like,
what about he does the Joker line though? Like his friends are like, you're not, he's like, we're not your lackeys. I kind of like that. Where he's like, hey, go get the information.
I feel that's like another thing that I really liked about this movie is that it's kind of like has self-aware moments of like. Aly Michalka, like, she's self-aware that, like, I know you might be attracted to me, but we're not like that kind of thing. But
that's like self-centeredness too.
Yeah.
It's a bit self-centered.
Damn.
But like,
and
with
she's
that,
like,
because when
she this kiss, I'm giving you a gift. Let's make out right now.
Educational purpose.
When she kisses him, and she's like, what is it? She's like, oh, I did him a favor. Look at me, I'm a good guy.
I'm so grown up.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this shit.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like a lot of the characters. A lot of the characters were kind of infuriating. Like seconds in when the main guy starts talking, he's like, no one's cool like me. Nobody has the same taste of music like I do. I was like, oh God. I was like, I don't like him. I was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, he was very like
I'm an outcast,
music snob, pretentious.
But it's because I'm superior to everyone.
Yeah, he was very much like a fucking, what's it called? God.
When he's like,
he was very incel.
Yeah, when he was, no, because he's like, I would talk to this guy, but he's always combing his hair. If you ever watched his hair or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we talking. I was like, hey asshole, like you're that much better than this guy. Like damn.
Fucking curly ass hair.
Yeah.
This guy, listen, man.
Looking like Drake's son.
Adonis or
Vanessa.
I don't know what the kid's name is.
I got 2 girls.
Oh yeah, that was kind of an incel like thing. Dream too. He's like, I got 2 girls on my side.
The dream.
Yeah,
dream.
like let me just come talk to this beautiful girl that has no friends, but she
when the girl was making out with him, I thought Vanessa Hudgens was gonna be like outside of the car.
Oh my God, me too.
Like, I was expecting that. I was expecting for that because I was like, this is the scene it's gonna be. She's good because she kept saying, oh, it's because you like her or whatever, and the other one's like, oh, you like her, and so I thought, oh, this is the scene where it culminates. Where she kisses him, says, "Oh, I'm doing this favor for you," and then Vanessa Hudgens is out there, and she was like, "I was going to bring you some record or something to your house." "You're such a dick," and then throws it on the ground. You know?
Oh yeah, some shit like
Some shit. Yeah. I got yeah.
Some shit.
So I'm glad it didn't go that cliched route, like because I could have seen that happening too.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of wanted that though at that moment. Everything was always so weird at that moment. I really wanted that. I wanted a big old fight. I was like, and I hope the rain comes down and someone's crying, and they play that one Hillary Duff song about the rain.
Oh, don't! It's
yeah. Disney Channel stars in this.
Yes, because that's what we need. If we're gonna go full meta, go full meta.
Yeah. Well, he did pull an asshole move when he went to that
the flaming
the burning hotel.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's like, bro, you totally forgot.
Yeah.
Go with Vanessa Hudgens on a date with.
Here's my issue.
That I expected that. I was expecting that.
Yeah.
One, you're on a date with Vanessa Hudgens. All right. Okay. One right there, you're already making out. Two, you're gonna go watch Evil Dead 2. Like my guy.
Evil Dead 2.
Fuck whatever
twice.
Yeah.
Fucked up
times.
twice.
But it's just because he's
back
an
to back.
artist. It's because it was the music. It wasn't even about the girl. He just got so lost in the music because he's.
Well, no, I understood that. Like I understood his feeling when he was doing that. No, because honestly, he didn't care who was with him at that moment. If you do see that, it's.
He by himself. He was entranced.
Yeah, he gets on stage. He crowd surfs. It's his feeling, this emotion. Yeah. I mean, as much as that girl was using him, like let's be real. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna really look deep into this. As much as that girl was using him to make a band and him be the manager and all this shit, he was using them to like vicariously live through his shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because he wanted that band. Because you saw the girl was telling him like, no, Vanessa Hudgens told him, you're doing this because you want to do it, not because this girl's asking you, because she's forcing you.
Right.
She goes, you want to do it. And it's true. When he crowd surfed, when he did that, he didn't think of his bandmates or whoever was there. He wanted that feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a part 2, this fool would be P. Diddy and making the band. He's like, I'm closing down the studio unless you guys get me a midget holding these balloons.
Holding these balloons. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they just said screw it and like went full meta, like Fred's saying. I think it would have been like, okay, like if they knew it was going to be that kind of like Disney Channel feel. Yeah. But I felt like the characters were really trying to be like, I'm like this, I'm cool, I know this, I play music, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just constantly felt like, ugh, no, okay, whatever, dude. Like, it kept turning me off, but with like that type of movie, I get really turned off easily. Like, I'm always like, no, but unless like
I
they go out of the way. I would love to
see a movie about the drummer.
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness!
I want to see a movie about the drummer.
Yeah, like I was the best character.
Not just the drummer, but the drummer and the mom.
I
want to know what relationship they had.
I was like, why isn't he with the cellist?
Oh yeah, the cellist came in clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we say like it was very surprising how like the mom was like okay with like basically
being a groupie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first.
Yeah.
Father. Their father was a stand-in.
No, he wasn't. That was the whole point. Is that he lied about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has schizophrenia. Anyways.
So when I was watching this movie, all I could think of was, have you guys ever seen any movies like by John Carney? He writes and directs a bunch of music movies that reminded me kind of like I was watching. I was like, this is good, but it's like a worse version of his movies. He did Once, Begin Again, and Sing Street, which are all really fucking good movies.
Once and Begin Again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they all
some of my favorite movies. Oh, there's another one, Begin Again. We could talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I would say any of those three we could probably talk about on this show because they're all really underrated. And you talk about the music in this movie, which I thought was fine. The music in those movies, they're all great. They were all, at least 2 of them were nominated for Academy Awards. Right. Once won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Yeah, I would say if you're looking for a good movie with music that has like they have love stories that are about strong characters, watch any movie done by John Carney. He writes and directs all his movies. I would say maybe we'll talk about some of them in the future, but like if you guys like this, go out and watch those immediately. For
just personal opinion, for once, for watching it's the movie, but the musical version of it is one of my favorite musicals, and it's actually better than the movie. Kind of like the storyline's the same, but it's very, a lot more because the movie is very indie and it was like we go on it when we actually talk about it, but it's very indie and like very.
Would that be West Side Story?
What?
Very indie. That's
Right,
super.
right. Because the play is better than the movie. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think the movie's better. Well, we'll see what the new movie also, but I think the movie of West Side Story is better than the play.
I think I was just interjecting with a joke.
Oh, sorry. But yeah. But anyway, check out if you want to see once. Check out the musical and the movie. But yeah. But definitely beginning.
Wait, sorry. What movie?
One of my other favorites.
Wait, what movie?
There's Once, Begin Again, and Sing Street. If you haven't seen Sing Street, Ariel, it's the same writer director, and it's another really fucking good one. Kind of similar to those two.
No, Ariel, which one were you talking about? I didn't hear the name of it.
Once, yeah.
Once. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was like, wait, are we really talking about West Side Story? Because
No, 'cause I was saying, that movie was fire.
No, it is fire, definitely. It's fucking good. No, but like,
Latin representation, right? Supposedly, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Natalie Wood, total Latin. Natalie Wood and fucking brownface, Latin representation.
Hey, listen, we take what we can get.
Yep. I ain't complaining.
I'm not like other people. They say they're Latinos. I say, hey, welcome. Here's your card. Come on in.
Boom. Here you go. Here's the same struggles, bro. Take it.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get stopped by the cops just like us.
But what I will say about this is that it's a good like intro kind of movie. Like I feel like with like any genre, I feel like there's always movies that you kind of go, or somebody will be like, hey, before you get into that kind of thing, check this out, see what you think, like if it matches up your music, because like they're all teens, so they're getting into. I feel like even when we were teenagers, we would kind of go like, oh, well, you know what? I'll check out this band. I'll check out this big famous band. Like, I mean, you would see it in high school. People were listening to like Nirvana, Zeppelin, whatever, the Who, all that shit. And then they kind of like progressively move on to like something more into that, or they just stay into that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it felt. That's how it felt like to me, though, at least, where I was like, you know what? I can show like someone around their age, be like, hey, check this out if you're into that. And they might be like, you know what? I feel it. Like, I like it, because it's all teens doing everything. They're managing the band, they're making a band, they're doing music together. I think that's kind of like what got a lot of people, I guess, to enjoy it, to be like, oh, you know what, I feel them.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like when you watch Zoolander and they play Jitterbug, you're really like, yo, that's Wham, that's dope.
Oh yeah, immediately that whole album is fire, dude.
You're like, yeah, you're like,
baby, fucking all that.
Yeah, you're like, dude, I really got to get into this kind of music, and then from there you branch out and you start listening to other stuff.
Or you come out after that.
Careless Whispers, after you hit Wham, you hit Careless Whispers.
You could come out after watching this movie and being, oh, I want to make music, I want to manage a band, I want to do this, and this guy is relatable, man. So if he can do it, then so can I.
You know what? Honestly, though, but it does give you that like whole vibe of there's somewhat of excitement of playing in a high school band, maybe
Right.
Yeah,
like having that camaraderie.
Yeah, I think it's because some of us, unlike Sergio here, doesn't get have never had that actual chance of of performing at a House of Blues or on stage like that. Seeing this is kind of our way of expressing that, and it's probably contributed to another thing that contributed to why I liked it. But yeah, I do agree with that. Possibly using this as not just like a gateway to the type of music that's in this movie, which is one of my favorite genres of music of indie rock, alt rock kind of style, but also a gateway into other movies like Once, Begin Again, and Sing Street.
Sing Street, which is very similar to what you guys are talking about, like kids in high school, kind of like making their first band and stuff like that.
Yeah, yes, because that's probably why I enjoyed those movies later on in my life, is because of this movie, is because I enjoyed this movie, and just of a movie with a great soundtrack, and why that adds to like my enjoyment of movie experiences. I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time is Garden State, which did win like a
that shit is fire. That movie is fire.
Shit.
Yeah, for
like the soundtrack is fire
and stuff like that, and it's this movie at least shows the importance of an incredible soundtrack to that an incredible soundtrack could contribute to a movie and could make it better. And
Yeah, but
yeah,
Garden State is fire though. Like I don't know how you can compare these two to each other, but I get it.
Well, I mean,
I get.
I guess more the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like I'm huge indie rock fan, so from that angle, I loved it. I love that the band he like calls out the origins of a band that got me into indie rock, which is the Killers, and like I haven't looked back since I was like 14 and Hot Fuzz came out, and so I loved all the kind of like little references and all the things about like the history of indie and all of it and alternative rock that it's peppered throughout the movie.
I was just disappointed that there wasn't enough David Bowie music in there. That's what I'm saying. At least in the movie.
Yeah.
Seriously, no
especially because they were doing that, and the only thing that went through my head was A Knight's Tale.
That's so fire, that Knight's Tale, where they're just like boom, boom.
Yeah, it's a fucking fire ass movie. I hope it's underrated because that's my next pick.
I love A Knight's Tale because they're just like fuck it, like this is like a medieval movie, but we're just gonna have
fuck
totally
they play Golden
music.
Years?
It's so fucking good.
They play Golden Years.
I we could put a spin on it.
During the fucking jazz.
I haven't seen it in like
that movie is fucking fire. It doesn't matter what year it is. Fucking
it's got
music
vision as Geoffrey Chaucer.
Yeah, but
music
especially
is fucking
also
fire.
like of a movie that a lot of people kind of forget in the oh my gosh, how can I forget his name?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's, yeah.
I know nobody ever talks about the fucking movie. That movie's a shit. They always talk about like the Joker when he was a Joker in the Batman movie, when he was in Brokeback Mountain. Oh no, A Knight's Tale, fire.
That's the movie that like
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah,
that one's fucking fire too.
And that's one I think introduced like at least our generation to Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that was another good one, and then nobody ever like really brings those up.
Oh, I was introduced for him by Brokeback Mountain.
I was too. I paused it in a scene where he's jumping off the cliff because I don't know if it's him or stunt double, but you can see.
I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, he was there.
There it is.
We paused it. We paused it on the TV, and I just started talking to my wife and my sister, and I paused it right on that scene, and then we turned to see the TV, and there you just see his like junk midair pause, and I was like, can't get better than that. All right.
Damn, that's the Joker right there.
He's all.
Maybe
he's all goddamn right there.
Okay.
Well,
maybe to close this all.
Well, do you guys want to talk about why we think it didn't do well? Because I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because the marketing for this movie was apparently like fucking atrocious. Like,
most things of this time
they even
of this
like
genre are.
Huh?
Most things of this time and genre were.
Well, I mean, I feel like even for then, it was like I was reading the Wikipedia and like apparently like the people who put it out said like the marketing was awful. Like just looking at the poster, that poster is fucking nothing. Like it's just 3 people and like the logo. Like there's nothing that tells you like, okay, this movie is loosely associated with music, but like everybody, like we all thought it was a Disney Channel movie. We didn't know this was even a theatrically released movie.
But
like,
what I had a feeling when I saw that was I think they were banking on the fact that people had seen them in Disney movies.
Yeah.
And they were banking on all those younger people that can now go to the theater. We're going to see that, have that nostalgia of like, oh, I remember those Disney com movies. I'm going to go watch this one. And I'm assuming that whoever was doing the marketing thought, this is a slam dunk. All those kids that watch them in all the Disney Channel movies are going to flock to the theaters and watch them in this because it has that same feeling, even though it's going to be something different.
I think they were definitely, if that's the case, overestimating Phil of the Future's fan base because
I love that show.
Yeah,
I love that show.
Was great.
I'm not talking shit on the show. I'm just saying, like, I think they overestimated some shit, and because people did not come see this movie, I think it was a major misfire in terms of the way they marketed it, just with the stars and not about the movie itself.
So going off of that, that is the reason why I didn't end up watching in theaters is because of the whole Disney Channel thing. I think at that point, like especially with Vanessa Hudgens, I was like burnt out because they had done four High School Musical movies at this point, and it's kind of like a burnout of her and of Disney and
4.
Yeah.
I thought there was only 3.
Is there 3? Oh,
there's 4 high school. Oh
no. Yeah, sorry.
There's probably a 4th one with like newer kids or something.
No.
Were they seeing?
No, there's this show. There's show.
Disney, the High School Musical, the musical, the show, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think that was my reason for not watching it at that when it came out in theaters is because of that, and kind of like it had that bad rap behind it of like, even though it is kind of like Disney Channel ish in its way, it is a little bit more, but still, yeah, I think they were banking on like, you know, tweens and people like that flocking to the theaters. But it's also, like Derek was saying, probably that lack of like marketing too, or the right marketing, or you know, putting it out there a little bit more, even if they were going to go to that market, probably.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you. I think that what they wanted was a slam dunk with the Disney, but I agree with you. At that point, you know how it always goes. You can't always count on the market staying the same. There does come burnout, and I feel like they didn't take into account that there was probably going to be some burnout. So they probably thought, oh, here's an easy shoot. This is how we do it. This is how we market it. We're in. And then everybody's like, yeah, what about, I don't want to see another High School Musical movie. I've already seen 2 or 3 of them. Why the hell am I going to watch another one? And that's probably where the messed up. Yeah, I know, right? This was they were doing trimesters and not semesters, but that's the problem, that they messed up. And I mean, look, overall, I gotta be honest. I think it's an okay movie. I think it's a good movie. It's a decent movie. It's not it's not the best. I'm not gonna sing from the mountaintops and praise this movie, but I think it's good for what it is. I mean, yes, you can't tell it's a movie of its time, but the music's good. The feelings that you get out of it are all right. Yeah, there's some things, like I said, I want to see the Vanessa Hudgens run out and slap him and be like, maybe in Spanish or something, be like, how could you, and slap Maria, slap, but you don't get that.
Porque Maria.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. No,
she was on In the Heights at the Hollywood Bowl.
But I mean, it's a good movie. I say give it a shot. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're stuck at home all day.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not a complete waste of your time. I think if you're a lot younger, it's cool. If you're older, I mean, it's gonna hit a few people. It might hit a few people.
Yeah, or like live through that time, like you're my age, or.
I mean, because the thing was like how can I put it? Like, I've listened to all types of music like forever. Mm-hmm. That when I see this kid, I'm just like, man, he's just stuck in one genre. Like I've gone all the way from like J-rock all the way to like K-pop to indie to jazz to Spanish to you name it. Like I've listened to all kinds of genres of music, old and new. That I'm just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get into it, but like the way he was acting, I would have never got like that. I'm like, you're just closing yourself off. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you just, you're thinking you're hot shit when there's so much other music,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's not for me. I personally wasn't like a fan of it, but I do think, like Fred is saying, if you're younger, or like if you're into that style of movie, like musical, where they're not like breaking out into song, they're kind of like, it's more of a realistic type of musical. I would say like check it out so you can get the feel for it. And if you're, getting into music and you're younger, then cool, go for it. And then if anything though, I would recommend more
School of Rock.
Pilgrim.
School of Rock. Yeah, I was about to say School of Rock.
I don't care for that one.
School of Rock's fire.
Camp Rock
or
2.
the John Carney movies.
Camp Rock 3.
No, I would do more like Scott Pilgrim, just because that was just personally for me. I loved it a lot because I like the music.
But see, Scott Pilgrim has good music, but I don't know if it's in the same genre of this style of movie.
Yeah, because they're in a band. They're also trying to get big. They're trying to get signed with getting grapes. It's not exactly the same, obviously.
Well, no, Scott Pilgrim's fighting a bunch of
Well, yeah, Scott
But I'm
Pilgrim,
saying,
like, overall is a really great movie. Very
yeah.
If we could,
it's
another
about
podcast about that.
Like there's it's not a musical, but it's got like a lot of songs in it.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is like Scott Pilgrim's is kind of like its own movie, like it's its own almost own genre by itself.
It is hard to compare Scott Pilgrim to other stuff, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's got so much.
But I see your point, Alan.
Yeah, and then also you can, like, if you're more into just the soundtrack as well, go check out Baby Driver, which I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, so that's why I'm throwing both of them in there. Mm-hmm. But like I know he appreciates music as well, and he kind of changes it up in his films. So for me personally, like if you want that type of musical kind of fun out there or soundtrack wise, I would recommend Scott Pilgrim and Baby Driver.
Yeah.
And here's the
Boom, there it is.
where
Right there.
Sergio lifts up something that pertains to another movie that we talked about. Okay. So maybe to close this off, since this is related to a movie that I liked as a teenager, maybe giving one or two examples or recommendations. They don't have to be underrated. Just movies that basically kind of like defined your adolescence at this time. So like junior, senior year of high school.
Brick.
They shot that at my high school.
Yeah.
While I was going to it. That's a true story.
Lucky. They shot the politician at my high school.
They shot somebody at Fred and I's high school.
Probably.
Fred?
I don't know. I couldn't. I don't know.
High School Musical, the show.
No, I was way past my time. I don't know. I was at that time right out of high school, like near my senior year, I guess. I don't know, like Gone in 60 Seconds, first Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all into cars back then. I mean, that was what was hot. Like that's the difference. We were into music and cars.
Mm-hmm.
That was really hot back then. You had like breakers and b-boys, and then you had car guys. So yeah, you got that. Electric Boogaloo. Breaking Electric Boogaloo.
Breaking 2.
Fred, Alan, or Derek?
Well, I know Alan's gonna disagree.
Oh, Alan
with this.
said brick. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Was this serious, Alan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like that. That's
I actually never saw it, but
it's good. It's a good high school detective story.
Yeah, like a noir.
Brian Johnson just put some fucking telephone booths in my high school and then shot that like during the weekends when I was going there.
Nice.
But so it was. I know you're gonna disagree with this, Alan, but I
know what it is.
You know what it is. And it was actually technically after high school. It was like came out this summer between high school and college for me, and it's super bad because I don't think I've ever seen a movie that actually captures, maybe except for Juno, that what it feels like to be a high schooler then, and like how high schoolers talk, and just like your friends.
I don't know.
Disagree with me, but that's how I felt. Like this.
I mean,
about personal movies.
No.
No. We're talking about personal movies. I mean,
no. I was gonna say no. Yeah, it's probably what you felt. I mean, I'm just laughing, and going because Alan knows that if we were in our high school acting like that, you'd probably get jumped. Mm-hmm. Like it'd be over for you. Like you can't act like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that movie for me was a really, really big deal, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. But yeah, and that, obviously, like I said, that kind of like captured my end of high school experience. In a way, I feel like every kind of generation has one of those, like, oh, it's the end of high school. This Gen Z probably has Booksmart. The millennials, or like we had, like for me, it was super bad. The generation before us, Gen X, they probably have like the Breakfast Club. Before that, it was what's that Harrison Ford fucking car movie that Ron Howard was in?
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti, probably like
movie.
The generation before. That's for the boomers, or whatever. Then before that was probably like some
American
fucking
Graffiti is a good movie.
So.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then going on to Sergio here, because he is in his senior year of high school. Have you had that type of movie yet, or is it?
So 2.
From Dusk Till Dawn. I got you. Salma Hayek put me through high school too.
Thank you no. Mid-90s and Marriage Story.
That Marriage Story is a more personal one, but we could go with mid-90s.
Well, mid-90s is basically just Sandlot remade into the mid-90s with like thrash skater culture, but then
I need to see that.
Oh man, as soon as you said it's like the Sandlot, I'm out. I was thinking about it, but now.
Wow, Sandlot's a good movie.
Alan just hates movies that everyone loves.
Let me see.
No, it's just I don't care for the movies that like people are like, oh, bro, I saw the Sandlot like 50 times. I jerked off to it every single time.
But why?
I've seen the Sandlot. I've seen the Sandlot a lot. It's a pretty decent movie.
It's a good movie.
The reason why I compare it to the Sandlot, the reason why I compare it to that is because it's just like a boy who finds friends and joining a new thing like skateboard.
And they're all broke as fuck.
And they're all broke as shit. And they're all skating out in the Sandlot, and he like doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And then there's one Benny the Jet Rodriguez character, but then domestic abuse, or not domestic. It's like, just I guess bad house.
It's the more tougher, realistic version of Sandlot.
It's like Sandlot, but if that wasn't enough for him,
Dennis Leary's character in the Sandlot actually was.
I get you. It's like Medea and Sandlot put together.
That beat the kid because he messed up his Babe Ruth ball, and he doesn't care that he got
mid-90s stuff.
Murder's Row ball.
Mid-90s being mid-90s.
You know what? Forget me talking about mid-90s. I retract Brick. It's gonna be Blood In, Blood Out.
Get the fuck out of here! That's too realistic, and it's hitting home.
Fred's like, I'm not gonna talk to you for.
Nah, man. Like, why we gotta go there? Like, those American History X is my high school movie.
There you go.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm not saying like, well, I mean, Marriage Story. Yes, I think it's a great movie, but mid-90s, I don't think it's the best. I'm just saying it because it's like.
Hey,
what was that one movie with the skater guys, Z-Dogs, or no? What was it?
Dogtown.
Yeah, Dogtown. There you go.
Those Dogtown Divas were my shit. I love those movies.
I think with mid-90s, why I say it is because the parts that, or like the parts of the movie that are shitty, are just
good
shitty, kind of, but it's just like
it's personal, you know.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this, and that's why I recommended this movie to begin with, is because of the personal effect that it had on me, and it's still, well, I guess not now. Now it's more nostalgia. So yeah.
Oh, and then another one I forgot to add: The Shape of Water.
Fuck yes,
bro. Saying I fucked the fish, dude.
Yeah, I want to change my shit. I just want the fish.
Everybody has like those like landmark moments where,
like when your gills come out and shit.
Yeah, or it's like when you're either it's you discover yourself. Some people
in the bathtub,
King. Others it's like Shape of Water. Others it's Joker. Others it's.
Why would it be Joker? Why?
A lot of incels discovered themselves.
Yeah, they live in a society.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Okay. Well, let's wrap this up. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hit that subscribe button on your podcasting app to make sure that you always notified when a new episode of this show comes out, and continue to hear us babble. And please, if you're willing to give us a rating and review, it really helps and lets us know what else you'd like to hear from us and from this podcast, because we can only get better with your help. Once again, we are the Undercast Company, made up myself, Ariel, and my brother Sergio Ortiz, Fred and Alan Torres.
Hey, what's up?
And Derek McDuff.
Hey. Oh, and Charlie Bartlett. That's another personal one. It's not great, but it's a personal one. Charlie Bartlett. Sorry,
is that the one where he sells drugs?
Yeah.
Yes.
The same thing.
It's not rest in peace, my boy Anton Yelchin and Kat Denning.
I was gonna say I can respect selling drugs. Not that I did it, but I'm just saying I know people who did.
Right now.
I can respect Kat Dennings because she's pretty bomb.
Kat Dennings is fucking bomb.
Yeah, well, we might.
Oh, Phantoms.
Oh, and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yes.
Phantom's like a motherfucker.
And I think was the bomb in Phantom, Joe.
Phantom's like a mother. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. I just realized I had to say that before the podcast ended.
Okay. Also, if you're looking for a convention content, or not so much right now because of this whole pandemic thing that's happening,
because of the Rona,
we'll be back at it eventually. As well as some other nerdy content. Please check out our Nerd Incorporated pages on social media at Nerd Incorp. And if you are looking for some Marvel discussion, please check out our other podcast, Infinity Stones and Dragon Bones, and anticipate an episode coming out pretty soon because, again, with all this COVID-19 stuff going around, it's caused a lot of news that we'll probably be discussing for a few episodes. And we'll be getting back to you all for another underrated film. So stay tuned, and thanks for being amazing.
Later, everybody.
Take it easy.
See you in the life.